The Inka mod takes adventurers on an epic journey into the heart of the ancient Inca Empire. This mod introduces a series of spectacular mobs inspired by Inca civilization, among which the most remarkable is Viracocha, the god of the sun. Viracocha, the supreme creator deity of the Incas, makes his grand appearance from within the desert's heart, emerging from his temple, a structure that stands as a remnant of sacred times. To awaken and confront this divine entity, adventurers must locate his temple and use a ceremonial tuning on the golden block positioned at the center of the sanctuary. Once awakened, prepare for an extraordinarily difficult battle. And when I say extraordinarily difficult, I mean it in the most literal and challenging sense. There's no exaggeration here. As a deity, Viracocha possesses formidable knockback abilities and uses the power of the sun to try to completely melt you, making this battle a test of both strength and endurance. In the first phase of the fight, solar orbs and sunlight rays are Viracocha's main ranged attacks. If you attempt to get close, you are almost certain to be repelled by his powerful force, so maintaining a safe distance is key. The solar orbs, much like the sun itself, can continuously scorch players and have tracking abilities. Once stuck by these orbs, it's easy to get melted by their persistent damage. Meanwhile, the sunlight rays are even more lethal. They resemble the Comet Azur from Elden Ring, acting as a long-range, high-damage ray that has a higher frequency of attack than the solar orbs. This ray requires players to have very quick reflexes and spatial awareness to dodge before it fires. Overall, battling Viracocha is both a strategic and tactical challenge, demanding effective use of the environment and mobility to find a way to conquer this sun deity. Sometimes when facing deities, it might be wise to call for some modern firepower support. Forgive me, I'm not a noble warrior. Let me just pull out my firearm. Even using guns, this battle is no walk in the park. Viracocha's attack range rivals that of most ranged weapons, and even in a sniper duel, he tends to have the upper hand. Such is the power of a deity. If you manage to reduce his health to below half, you'll be fortunate enough to witness his second phase. In this stage, Viracocha floats continuously in the air, his eyes emitting an angry glow, and he gains the ability to teleport. He will summon barrages of magical projectiles from the sigil above his head, raining them down upon us. Don't think he'll switch exclusively to this new trick. Viracocha will still use the attacks from the first phase. Combined with frequent teleportation, this makes him even harder to hit. I can hardly imagine defeating such a being with clunky melee weapons. Upon finally defeating him, he bursts into a brilliant light that gradually ascends to the sky and vanishes. And to think, such a powerful deity drops no loot. Additionally, this mod features other creatures with impressive animations, from automata to Inca natives, each designed with difficulty levels that align well with vanilla Minecraft. In essence, this mod is perfect for the supremely confident adventurers among us, because let's face it, Viracocha is no easy foe to bully, though it's up for debate whether it's us bullying him or him bullying us. Attention all fans of How to Train Your Dragon. Dragons have arrived in Minecraft. The useless Reptile mod introduces 4 distinct dragon species to fulfill your dragon taming dreams. Well, calling all of them dragons might be a stretch, since one seems to dwell underground and is conspicuously missing wings. But first, let's take a trip to the swamp regions. Meet the swamp wyvern, a common sight in swampy areas. Don't be intimidated by its massive size as you wander through the marshes. It primarily hunts smaller creatures to satisfy its hunger. And if you're armed with enough raw meat, you might just be able to tame one of these formidable beasts. Brace yourself, though. These guys can really eat. After feeding it 60 to 70 chickens, you might succeed in taming it. Once tamed, the swamp wyvern can be saddled for riding, and you can even collect acid from it using empty bottles. Now it's time to take flight. Double tap Shift to soar into the sky with your swamp wyvern and use Control to control its descent. Alright, there's a village ahead, so let's test its combat prowess on the unsuspecting villagers. Since you can extract acid from it, the swamp wyvern can also spray acid to corrode targets or engage in close combat with its powerful bite. Whether you're flying in first or third person, the animation is smooth and exhilarating. Introducing the Moloclaw, a dragon species adapted to life in the underground caverns of Minecraft. The pitch-black environment of its habitat has caused the Moloclaw's eyes to degenerate completely, making it reliant on its acute hearing to locate targets. Occasionally, it might launch an attack on wandering zombies it detects through their movements. Don't be intimidated by its robust physique. Taming a Moloclaw is surprisingly straightforward if you come prepared with a stash of beetroots. See those rocks up ahead? Once tamed, you can mount the Moloclaw and effortlessly smash through them. And if enemies block your path, demonstrate how Moloclaw can embrace them with a lethal hug. Unfortunately, Moloclaws are extremely sensitive to light. Unlike zombies, they won't burst into flames in bright environments, but they will cover their eyes with their hands and panic, running around chaotically. To help your Moloclaw navigate the surface world safely, equip it with a Moloclaw helmet to shield its eyes. With this protective gear, your Moloclaw can roam freely and comfortably above ground. As you approach the riverbanks, listen carefully for the whistling sounds carried by the wind. These aren't just breezes, they're the sounds of the river pikehorn, a delightful creature that thrives in groups along the river's edge. Taming these charming creatures is quite simple and economical, especially when compared to feeding those voracious larger dragons. Just arm yourself with some tropical fish, and you can easily win over a few pikehorns. Definitely a cuter and more cost-effective option. Once tamed, the river pikehorns will respond to commands from a whistle you hold. You can direct them to attack or fish in the river. And here's a fun twist. You can use them as adorable replacements for parrots. Just crouch and right-click, and they'll happily perch on your head. Isn't that cuter than having a parrot? Here's a cool tip for an epic visual. When you soar through the skies with your elytra, these tamed pikehorns will form a flying squadron around you. Imagine the sight of a flock of loyal companions trailing behind you as you glide through the air. Truly nothing cooler than a squad of flying buddies joining your aerial adventures. When dark clouds cover the sky and the storm is upon you, keep your eyes peeled for the elusive lightning chaser, a dragon that only appears during thunderstorms. Capturing and taming this tempestuous beast is no small feat. It soars high above the clouds, and you must strike it with lightning 3 times using an enchanted trident with the channeling enchantment. Without this, your battle may end in vain. The lightning chaser is formidable in combat, summoning a barrage of lightning bolts to strike at you. Make sure you're well prepared with enough health supplies to endure its attacks. Once subdued and fully tamed, you can saddle up and ride the lightning chaser across the skies. Additionally, you can equip it with a full set of dragon armor to enhance its defenses and aesthetics, transforming it into a truly formidable and stylish companion. Its active attack unleashes streams of lightning that not only deal massive damage, but can also transform villagers or creepers upon impact. With all 4 dragon species introduced by the mod, taming these magnificent creatures will make you feel like the next Daenerys Targaryen of Minecraft. Embrace the challenge and soar the skies with your very own dragon. In the latest update, NightQuest has completely reworked the Netherman boss, introducing a redesigned version complete with new music, animations, design, and abilities. The Netherman is a mutated, powerful Enderman that now features 3 distinct phases in battle. In the first phase, in addition to the Enderman's standard teleportation and melee attacks, the Netherman excels in using its fiery powers. It maintains distance through teleportation and unleashes fireballs from afar to ignite both your armor and flesh. Be sure to bring plenty of fire-resistant items, Unlike typical Endermen who teleport just once, the Netherman can move multiple times in quick succession, making it difficult to pinpoint its location. Fortunately, it can still be hit by arrows, so when in doubt, shoot a spectral arrow its way. As the fight progresses, the Netherman transforms the battlefield into a sea of lava. It's crucial to deplete at least 1/3 of its health quickly to prevent the entire ground from becoming engulfed in magma. Once Netherman loses 1/3 of its health, it ascends to the skies and transforms its limbs into solid blocks of ice, signaling its transition into the second phase. This elemental shift underscores its newfound mastery over ice powers. In this phase, Netherman unleashes its control over ice to devastating effect. Freezing players or summoning icy clones are among its key strategies. Notably, the Netherman clones have been updated. They no longer have a delay upon dying. Instead, they explode automatically upon approaching a player, and the explosion now freezes targets. As we relentlessly continue the assault, Netherman prepares to enter its third phase, which could be described as its light mode, or perhaps more aptly, dark mode. This stage promises even more dramatic shifts in abilities and tactics, challenging players to adapt and overcome. In the third phase, Netherman appears as a being of light, but in reality, it wields the powers of darkness. It drastically reduces your field of vision with an enveloping darkness, and its frequent teleportation makes it a cunning adversary likely to launch surprise attacks from the shadows. Additionally, Netherman summons multiple shadow bombs in the air that complicate your movement. Steer clear of these bombs, as they are set to explode after a few seconds. Upon defeating Netherman, it vanishes into the void, leaving behind its core. This core can be used to upgrade weapons, introducing a significant update in this version, a complete overhaul of the weapon system, where most weapons now feature both passive and active abilities. Moreover, this update introduces a new monster, the Fallen Knight, which can appear wearing some of the mod's armor sets. These new additions also boast impressive animations and models, enhancing the visual and gameplay experience. Welcome to the newly revamped village. The Better Villages mod takes the classic Minecraft village and expands it, enhancing both its scale and aesthetic. Our journey into the enhanced village begins with the desert settlement, a perfect example of blending traditional architecture with modern design sensibilities. As the camera slowly pans across the village, the first thing we notice is the harmoniously arranged buildings made primarily of sandstone. Buildings are interconnected with open balconies and staircases that not only facilitate ventilation, but also allow plenty of natural light to permeate the spaces. Nestled in an expansive green meadow, surrounded by lush trees and rolling hills, with fluffy clouds floating gently across the sky, lies the bustling Plains village, epitomizing the tranquil beauty of pastoral life. The architecture here is a nod to classic medieval style, featuring sturdy stone foundations paired with warm wooden structures. The roofs, covered with yellow straw, radiate the rustic charm and coziness of country living. As the camera slowly pans across the Savannah village, the first sights to greet the eye are the striking orange roofs and red brick walls of homes nestled among lush grasslands and towering palm trees. The homes are artfully scattered, creating a picturesque setting that blends seamlessly with the natural landscape. The village paths meander like ribbons, weaving through the community and linking functional areas such as the marketplace, the church, and residential zones. The tranquil and beautiful Snowy Plains village stands as a warm paradise nestled within a vast frozen world. Here, the buildings are crafted from dark brown wood, creating a striking contrast against the surrounding white snow. As you wander through the village, you'll notice that the villagers take great care in maintaining winter gardens. They cultivate a variety of winter crops and greenhouse plants, ensuring that fresh ingredients are available even during the harshest winter months. The final village on our journey is the Conifer Forest Village, a perfect example of living in harmony with nature. As the camera delves deeper into the village, we see cozy cabins constructed from dark wood nestled among dense pine trees. The roofs are thickly blanketed with green moss, blending seamlessly with the surrounding environment. This village cleverly utilizes its unique terrain. This revamped mod introduces an eerie new dimension called the Carnage, a realm brimming with flesh, eyes, teeth, hair, and more, offering a spine-chilling twist to the world of Minecraft. To access the carnage, one must take the daring step of sleeping in the nether. This unique method of transportation not only brings you to the carnage, but also ensures that the bed used in the nether is destroyed upon your departure. Once in the carnage, the landscape is dominated by flesh. Flesh blocks, the most abundant material in this dimension, can be harvested and processed into raw flesh, a new type of edible meat. The versatility of flesh extends beyond mere sustenance. It can be crafted into a variety of new blocks and items, including rough flesh blocks, flesh-based doors, fences, and buttons. Additionally, the carnage hosts unique flesh flowers, grotesquely sprouting amidst the fleshy plains. As you traverse the dense forests dominated by towering nerval tree spires, you might occasionally discover a structure resembling a house. These houses, seemingly benign, usually contain at least one chest. The loot inside these chests might appeal to newcomers with its somewhat good contents, though seasoned adventurers may find the offerings less enticing. Beyond these humble dwellings, the forest might also conceal larger, more daunting structures known as dungeons. The range of items is vast, extending from something as mundane as a stick to as valuable as a totem of undying. Stumbling upon a dungeon can thus be a lucrative, albeit risky venture. If you're looking for a quicker way to navigate the vast expanses of your Minecraft world, consider harnessing the power of the Spectre Pearl. The Spectre Pearl functions similarly to an Ender Pearl, but with a randomized element. When thrown, there's only a small chance it will teleport you to your desired location. However, if your aim is true and the pearl strikes a mob, it guarantees a 100% chance of teleporting you directly to that mob, positioning you strategically for an immediate encounter. In addition to the typical dungeon loot, there's a unique weapon you might encounter called the Toothpicker. This intriguing item is especially useful when you find yourself facing a horde of mobs. The Toothpicker has the ability to pick a mob by lifting it into the air. After suspending the mob briefly, you have the power to launch it in any direction of your choosing. The Clump is a formidable and highly aggressive mob that poses a significant threat in the terrifying new dimension you've stumbled into. This massive creature is driven by a voracious appetite, particularly for human flesh, making it a relentless pursuer of players. It exhibits an alarming level of destructiveness, capable of devouring blocks that obstruct its path as it chases down its prey. Upon its death, the Clump leaves behind a gruesome trail of its own remains, including teeth and flesh, which can be collected by players. These drops can serve various purposes, potentially in crafting or as resources for other survival needs. If you are on the hunt for a place that transcends the horror of the Nether, this nightmarish new dimension, with its hostile inhabitants like the Clump, will certainly fulfill your darkest fantasies and challenge your survival skills in entirely new ways.